seat.
Why did you put it in her name?
I did not have my driver's license.
And that's alcohol related.
Right.
But it cost him his car.
Were you sleeping with him?
Yes.
That doesn't mean he gave you a car.
He owed me for driving him around for the last 4 months.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Why?
Because it sounds ridiculous.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Garrett Sakala is suing his ex-girlfriend, Nicole Beck, for the return of a car and the return or value of a car breathalyzer.
Order. All rise. It's case number 95 on the calendar in the matter of Sakala versus Beck. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Thanks, Bert. Mr. Sakala.
Yes.
The defendant was a woman with whom you were involved for a brief period of time. And according to your complaint, during that brief period of time, for some reason, you put a car that belonged to you in her name.
Correct.
And now you want it back.
Correct.
Do you want to tell me when you put the car in her name and why?
Awarded
November 7th of what year?
18. I was awarded the car back in court from a previous girlfriend.
Okay. When did you buy this car?
January 2017.
And under what circumstances did a previous girlfriend have the car?
I was helping her out. The payments were very affordable, $251 a month. She was making the payments, and then the car broke down. She left it on the side of the road, so it got impounded. Once.
In whose name was the car?
In my name. My name.
Just a second. So you got the car back from a previous girlfriend, but the car was in your name.
And it could not be put into my name because I have charges.
Just a second. Listen. I'm talking about the old girlfriend. I'm trying to figure out the provenance of this car. The car was initially in your name when you bought it. Don't shake your head. That's annoying. In whose name was the car when you initially bought it?
It was put into Mary Jo.
Okay. So when you initially bought it, you put it in Mary Jo's name.
Correct.
And you put down the deposit. You bought it in 2017.
Correct.
And you put it in her name. Why?
To help her out.
Why did you put it in her name?
Because I did not want to have a responsibility of it, and she was going to make the payments. My credit was already good enough.
Just let me see. It's her car, and she was going to make the payments on it.
Correct.
Oh, well, that's a good reason for it to be in her name. She was going to pay for it, so it was going to be in her name. What happened?
The car broke down 2 months after she had it. It got impounded, and she stopped making the payments. Since the loan
Had you co-signed on the loan?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. So you were responsible for the loan.
Correct.
And what court gave you back the car?
Sherburne County.
Was that after a trial, or did Mary
Yes.
Jo... What?
Yes.
It was after a trial?
Correct.
And how many months had you been paying for the car?
10 months.
So she was paying for it 2 months?
Yes.
And you paid for it for 10 months?
Yes.
And you were on the loan?
Yes.
How much is left on the loan on the car?
$8,600, I believe.
Now, you got possession of the car from Mary Jo, from the court. Bird, may I have that, please? On what date?
That was November 7th.
Great. And you got possession of the car on November 7th. Now, on what date did you put the car in the defendant's name?
The same day.
And that was because?
The car was in the impound, and I had to get it out of impound. The only way I could do that was to have it in a legal driver's name. I did not have my driver's license, so Nicole right now, and I can't.
Well, that's not an issue. Telling me you don't have a driver's license, so you cannot drive a car legally. Is that right?
Yes.
And that's alcohol related.
Right.
So you took the car out. In order to get the car out, you gave the car to the defendant to put it in her name.
She offered to put it into her name.
Let me tell you, nobody can conjure up a story like you just told me unless you told her the story of how the car came into your possession. First was with Mary Jo. She stopped making the payments. You made the payments for 10 months. Now, when you were making the payments for 10 months, did you have a driver's license?
No.
Who drove the car?
The car was undrivable. It had to be fixed.
You mean when you got it back from the judge, it was undrivable?
Correct.
When was the last time you made a payment on this car?
Still making payments every 11.
When was the last... When was the last time you made a payment on this car?
June 11th,
In what amount?
$251.73.
Has he been making payments on the car?
The payments he's making are not towards the car. They're for a personal loan that he took out to give the money to Mary Jo. There's no collateral. The cars are not collateral on the loan.
Can I see the title to the car?
Yes.
Who do you work for?
Construction company
Prior to that, where were you working?
in the oil field,
And where do you live?
Brainerd, Minnesota.
How do you get there to work every day?
I have a friend that picks me up every day because I still don't have a license.
What's your friend's name?
Andrew.
Does he work with you?
He does.
Miss Beck, when you and the defendant were together, did he ever drive the car?
Not the car in question, no.
Any car?
Yes.
What car?
It was a Oldsmobile Aurora.
Whose name was it in?
Friends of his that live in North Dakota. And it had a North Dakota plate. If he didn't drive that, then I drove him around in my car.
Now, I want you to tell me under what circumstances you got this car.
When I met Garrett back in August
Don't read anything, just look
I'm
at
not.
me.
2018. He was already in the midst of trying to get the car back. Mary Jo wasn't paying him under their agreement, but the car itself is paid for.
I want to know how you got the car.
She put it in my name. It's never been in Garrett's name
She put it in your name for what purpose?
because she was giving it up. It wasn't hers. She defaulted on making payments to him.
What year car is that?
2012.
So you made no payments on the car?
Myself?
Yeah.
It's paid for.
You made no payments on the car. You didn't pay for
Because
the car.
it's paid for.
Yes.
It's paid for. Why would I make payments on a car that's paid for?
I want to know. Listen, very, very easy. Either you get the title back or you don't. I
Right.
have the title.
I had the title, yes.
No, I have the title.
Well, now you have the title, yes. But I had the
No,
title.
you had the title. You used to have the title. So we're going to answer my question. I want to know under what circumstances it was titled in your name. Do you understand?
Garrett asked me to put it in my name.
He asked you if you would put it in your name so he
Right.
could get it out of impound.
And because he doesn't have a valid driver's license.
And because he doesn't have a valid
And
driver's
because
license.
he owed me for driving him around for the last 4 months.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
8.5-hour drive?
Just a second. That's ridiculous.
Why?
Because it sounds ridiculous. Were you sleeping with him?
Yes.
Then you drove him around. That's what, yeah, sleeping with him, drove him around, went out to eat, went away on vacation. That doesn't mean he gave you a car.
Yeah.
He didn't give you a car. You understood that you were getting the car titled in your name because he couldn't have the car titled in his name.
No, that wasn't the reason.
No, that was the reason. There's no question. That's what you just told me.
Also, my
just a
dad was
second.
going to fix it for him for free. That was the other reason.
Just a second. That was the reason because he didn't put it in your name. That's what you just told me. Mary Jo put it in my name.
Because it's never been in Garrett's name.
Just a second. You weren't sleeping with Mary Jo. She had no
Could be.
reason. You weren't driving Mary Jo around. Do you understand? You're not getting the title back to the car. But you have a problem, sir. You can't have the car in your name.
That's right.
So what do you want me to do?
I brought Angie to call up my sister-in-law to put it into her name. It's family.
The car's not in my name anymore either.
Who's Carolyn?
That's my niece.
So you titled the car in her name.
Because her boyfriend was going to fix it.
Okay, so what I have to tell you is this, sir. Mr. Sakala, you're actually suing the wrong person because the person who owns this car is Carolyn. I don't want to give this to you because I'm keeping this just to make it difficult for her.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest that you sue Carolyn for the return of your car. I'm going to hold on to this, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to give you an order to take to the DMV that if she sues or asks the DMV for a duplicate title,
okay,
it's denied. Do you understand?
I understand.
That will slow down the process.
All right.
Good. Thank you very much. Bye.
Can I continue suing for the other device?
She says she doesn't have it.
Because she threw it, of course.
To test you whether you're driving and drinking?
Right.
She says she doesn't have it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
There's a lot more to it, a lot more in depth.
Wow, Judge Judy handled it perfectly.
He still owed me and that was part of the payment.
This girl is no good. I need to just get rid of her.
He held me down and choked me, and another, he pulled a gun on me.
She pulled a gun on me, actually, and I took her to the ground and disarmed her.
Taken care of myself since.
August, I can get my driver's license. I won't have to deal with this.
Take notes. Always have a witness.
Learn a little more about girls before I actually date them.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Moore versus Clark. Step forward.
Dale Moore is suing his former tenants, Jerry and Brittany Clark, for unpaid rent and for causing damage to his rental home.
Mr. Moore, the Clarks were tenants of yours. For how long?
February 28th of this year would have been 2 years.
And when did they move out?
They moved out April 8th.
What was their rent?
$5.95 a month.
What months do you allege they didn't pay?
February, March, and April of this year.
Did you pay February's rent?
We did.
Do you have proof that you paid?
I didn't bring any proof with me. We actually were in the process of moving, and everything just...
They would do it in a drop box at my office.
Okay. Did you pay March's rent?
No, we actually had a verbal agreement that we would do work to the house in exchange for our rent.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, when we moved in, there were a lot of damages to the house.
I don't care about when you moved in. You lived there for 2 years.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
My grandmother passed away in November, and that's when we had to take out a huge loan to help with final preparations, which Dale was under. He knew about it.
Not his problem. He's your landlord,
Right,
not your
I
father.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dale Moore says his former tenants, Jerry and Brittany Clark, moved out owing for rent and damages to his home.
Now, I want to know what you were supposed to do to the house.
Well,
what was the agreement that you were going to do?
The agreement was that we were going to repaint the entire house, and we put up all new light fixtures. We fixed leaking plumbing issues.
No. I don't want to know what you did historically. I read your answer. I want to know when you were moving out in the month of March.
The agreement was... Sorry.
You already told me what you say your agreement was. Had you painted the house before?
We painted our own preferential colors.
Well, and Mr. Moore let you paint the house before.
Yes.
What colors did you paint your preferential colors?
Well, it was
Just
beige, gray, and then our daughter's room was pink.
What room did you paint gray?
Gray was our bedroom, and then the main colors of the house was a beige.
And what rooms did you paint?
Every room except for our grandparents' room.
Whose
And
grandparents?
Our grandparents. They lived with us because they were elderly and couldn't take care of themselves or afford to live out on their own.
How long did they live with you?
They actually moved out with us.
What color was their room?
Theirs stayed the same color it was when we moved in, so white.
So when you moved in, all the rooms were painted white. Just follow where we're going. When we moved in, all the rooms were painted white.
Yes.
And you were repainting the house white.
We were told...
You were repainting...
No, we were repainting it a beige color.
Is that what Mr. Moore selected?
Yes. I texted him and I called him and he said that it was fine. I showed him the pictures of what the beige color in the living room and the kitchen. He said that that was fine to paint it throughout the house. And we got completely done except for little touch-ups in the kitchen.
But you had painted the other parts of the house beige yourself.
Yeah.
And painting over the pink.
Yes.
And painting over the gray.
Yes.
Okay. Did you pay April's rent?
No, he actually told us that we wouldn't be liable for April. We would only be liable for the 3 days that we were there. Our lights were cut out on April 3rd, and we moved out on April 3rd. And the only thing we were there for...
Why do you think... Let's follow this through. You were a tenant with your daughter, an elderly couple, you and your husband, for 2 years.
Yes.
I have to assume that Mr. Moore, who was not seeking rent for any other months but February, March, and April, that you paid your rent for the entire 2 years.
Yes.
Where were you moving to?
We moved about 5 miles away from the previous house, Dale's house.
With whom?
Well, we moved because my grandmother had passed away and we couldn't bear to stay in the house any longer.
You said they moved with you.
They did, but my grandmother passed away in November, and that's when we had to take out a huge loan to help with final preparations, which Dale was under. He knew about it.
Not his problem. He's your landlord,
Right,
not your
I agree.
father.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You didn't pay February's rent by the last day that you were able to pay it, by February 8th, because you wrote February and March's rent. That's not a deal.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dale Moore says his former tenants, Jerry and Brittany Clark, moved out owing for rent and damages to his home.
Now, so you stopped paying rent.
No, we continued paying rent in February.
How much are you paying rent now?
$400 a month.
So you're paying less rent?
Yes, ma'am.
When had Mr. Moore asked you to leave?
On March 28th, he was asking us when the final day we would be out. And
when did he first ask you to move?
March 28th.
Is that correct?
No.
When did you first ask the Clarks to move?
I never did ask them to move.
When were you notified that they were moving?
February 14th, she sent a text message to give
May I
the
see
notice.
it?
Yes.
Well, this is very, very simple and straightforward. On February 9th, you wrote to him, hey, just wanted to give you, by the way, on what date was your rent due?
It's not past due until the 8th. So it's due on the 1st.
So it's due on the 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
And past due on the 8th. The last day you were allowed to pay rent. I just wanted to give you notice. We'll be moved out by the end of March. Rent will be paid for February and March.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else we need to do to get back our deposit? I know we need to paint, take down the ramp, clean out our stuff. Is there anything else we need? Okay, he said, thanks. Just text when you're out for inspection and return key. So you weren't out by the end of March. Clearly, you weren't out by the end of March.
Excuse me.
You weren't out. You
all of
weren't out until April 8th. You didn't pay February's rent.
I did pay February's rent, and we were told...
Just a second. You didn't pay February's rent by the last day that you were able to pay it, by February 8th, because you wrote him on February 9th and said, I will be paying February and March's rent. And I know we have to paint. That's not a deal, to paint instead of rent. I know we have to paint. Take down the ramp, which I assumed was for your grandparents.
Yes.
Is there anything else? He said, no, just let me know when you're ready to move out for an inspection and return of the key.
Yes, and when we
Okay, so you owe for 3 months' rent. That's $1,500.
Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, can I see pictures? May I see pictures, please, of the damage that you're complaining about?
Yeah. The damage is, and the claim for the damage is just non-refundable of the deposit they have on file. It's because they left debris and trash all in the yard, and I had to pay to get it removed.
Oh, okay, fine.
And
sir,
I'm
listen,
sorry. I was looking
sir,
for
just one second.
Okay.
If that's what it's for, the part of the deposit, did you return their deposit?
No.
How much was their deposit?
$595.
And how much did you have to pay to have their trash removed?
It was over $595, but I think it's fair because I did some improvements to the house afterwards. That's beyond wear and tear of normal rent.
Okay.
So I'm just going to accept $595. It was into thousands because I did some improvements to the house. But I have pictures of...
Well, I don't have a counterclaim for security deposit, which you kept.
I understand. Yes,
Got
correct.
it. So they owe you, actually, it's $595. They owe you $1,785 for 3 months' rent. Thank you very much. Judgment for the plaintiff.
You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The warning.
Never taken somebody whose own parent kicked him out, which is what you did.
Yes, ma'am.
The regret.
The room was trashed. How did it get trashed?
Judge Judy.
No hard feelings towards Mr. Moore.
She saw through the lies that they were telling.
Leaky toilets, cut-off valves, broken brick that my daughter fell and hurt herself.
The damages that they say they repaired are the one they created.
Make sure that they aren't slumlords.
Have to start watching everybody and doing more inspections.
You paid Mr. Shaw $1,500 for a truck.
her boyfriend broke his promise.
So what are you suing him for?
For stealing the truck after I paid for all of it.
But not before breaking his vows.
Me and my wife were separating. Me and the plaintiff were dealing with each other at the time.
Not dealing with each other, you were dating her at the time. I don't like you. Don't drink water now, I'm speaking.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jessica Turner and her mother Tammy are suing Jessica's ex-boyfriend, repair costs and tow fees.
Order. All rise. It's case number 9 on the calendar in the matter of Turner versus Shaw.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Turner, this is your mom, is that right?
Yes.
And she's only here because she loaned you some money to fix this truck, is that right?
Yes.
You can have a seat. It is your claim that you paid Mr. Shaw, who was your sort of boyfriend at the time, $1,500 for a truck.
Yes.
To purchase. Then the truck broke down, and in order to have it fixed, your mom lent you another almost $1,000 to have it fixed.
Correct.
Then Mr. Shaw decided, according to you, to go back to his wife, and he took back the truck.
Yes.
So you want your money back. Now, Mr. Shaw, is this the wife?
Yes, Your Honor.
In whose name was this truck registered?
This was registered under Marion.
Who is that?
That's my father.
Where is he?
He's not here
Why was the truck registered in your father's name?
because this is my father's truck.
Had you been using your father's truck?
Yes.
Had you and your wife been using your father's truck?
Yes.
For how long?
For about 5 months.
Tell me the circumstances that you and your wife were using your father's truck for 5 months.
As of now, up to weren't. Me and her were using the truck up until our separation.
You and the plaintiff were using the truck.
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
A week at most. I was moving some...
Shut up! Prior to the week that you were using the truck with the plaintiff, who was using the truck?
No one.
Where was it?
It was at his house.
So how did it come about that your father let you have the truck to use with the plaintiff for a week and then let you and your wife use the truck for 5 months?
During the process... Okay, during the process of the situation, me and my wife...
That's a whole lot of words.
Okay, me and my wife were separating.
I got it.
Me and the plaintiff were dealing with each other at the time.
Not dealing with each other, you were dating her at the time.
We were intimate, dealing with each other at the
Yes.
time. So I needed to use the truck because I have epilepsy. I cannot drive. So I asked her to drive because she has a valid license and the truck was going to be insured. So she assured me during our relationship that she was going to take care of the truck, and my dad gave her... Okay. You wanted to know.
Is what you're saying your father gave permission to the plaintiff to drive his truck? Just follow my question.
Yes, ma'am.
That your father, who I will call,
Okay.
gave permission to the plaintiff to drive the truck for about a week because you didn't have a driver's license. Is that what you're saying to me?
No. To answer your question, no. That's not what I'm saying.
And I'm going to ask you again, Mr. Shaw, how did it come about that you and the plaintiff were using your father's car since you couldn't drive? So the car had to be turned over to someone who could drive.
Exactly.
Who did that?
My father gave her permission.
But then the answer is your father gave her permission.
Not because I didn't have a license, because I'm medically inclined.
So your father gave her permission to drive his truck. What's your father's phone number? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
That your father personally gave the plaintiff permission to drive his truck?
You want the number? I'm going to give it to you.
No, that's what
Yes.
I'm asking you.
Yes.
Miss Turner, is that correct?
No.
Did you ever have a personal conversation with the defendant's father?
When we went up there to buy the truck, yes.
When did you have a personal conversation with the defendant's father?
March 2nd.
Tell me the circumstances.
In person, we went up there so that I could... James, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend, and I had gone up there so that I could purchase the vehicle.
Just a second. You, your brother,
Yes.
his girlfriend,
Yes.
and Mr. Shaw
Yes.
went to his father's house. And you spoke to his father.
Yes.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding you speaking to his father.
His father knew that...
Don't tell me what his father knew.
We
What
were
his
coming up there to buy the truck for
No.
$1,500.
Shh. You met his father there. Very, very easy.
Yes.
You met his father there. The truck, according to you, was under some snow and had to be dug out.
About 4 feet.
Just a second, and had to be dug out from under the snow. You spoke to the defendant's father. It was at the defendant's father's house, correct?
It was at his Aunt Dorothy's, from what I understand. We met his father at an apartment building somewhere else and followed him to the place in St. Paul where the truck was stored.
Okay, so you met his father
Yes.
at an apartment complex. His father said, follow me, I'll take you to where the truck is.
Yes.
So his father took you to where the truck was. And then?
They dug it out and got it started.
Who dug it out?
James and his father.
And then?
That ended up having a flat tire need to be fixed. He had called his brother to come help.
Did you call your brother?
I called my brother every day.
Good. Did you call your brother to come fix the flat tire on the truck?
No.
His brother witnessed me paying cash because his brother was there.
What's his brother's name?
Richard.
So his brother came and helped fix the tire, and then?
And then I counted out the $1,500 bills and handed them to his father to count.
Handed them to his father?
Yep.
Yes.
Because I was under...
No. I don't care what you were under. You handed the $1,500 to his father.
Yes.
And?
Because I was buying the truck from them. His brother witnessed it. He took the money.
You handed the money to his father?
Yes.
So what are you suing him for?
For stealing the truck after I paid for all of it, since the truck is still with them.
No, Miss Turner, you're suing the wrong person. You should be suing his father.
Well, I'm suing the person who has the property.
No, you have to sue
because he has the property that is worth $2,700.
No, Miss Turner, you have to sue the person who you gave the $1,500 to, who didn't give you title to the car. He can't give you title to the car. He doesn't own the car.
Well, we have police records where we both take the truck to the police officers, and he tells them
Stop singing, Miss Turner. You have to stop singing. You have to talk. I'm telling you, if you paid $1,500 to give you the title to the car, you didn't get the title.
They gave me a receipt of sale.
Listen to me. I can't give you an order to go and get the truck because his father isn't there. If his father was there, which you should actually have sued them, you could sue them both if you're not sure. I can order his father, because he got $1,500 to sign the title over to you, but I can't give you an order that you can take to a marshal and get a car from him that's in somebody else's name. Do you understand?
No.
Yes, Your Honor.
She don't.
Well, I've just explained it, and she does understand now. I can't give you an order to take to your local authorities that say, I have ruled in this binding arbitration that she is the rightful owner of this car. I can't do that because he's not the owner. He, of necessity, unless he stole the car from his father, must be operating the car with his father's permission. Now, his father really shouldn't give him permission if you gave his father $1,500 and if that was for the sale of the car.
Yes, and his father refused to come here.
Well, that's not my problem.
And I have all the proof where I paid.
I can't help you if his father refused to come here. Did you serve him in small claims court?
Anything back, so I amended to take him off of it.
Well, then I can't help you. He is the proper defendant because he owns the car, and you understand that.
Okay, and what about for fixing it after the fact and then he still stole it? I have all the receipts for that.
You have to sue his father.
Okay.
Because if you sue his father and a judge gives you an order that says it's your car, this is a stranger to that process, then you can execute on that judgment and go and get the car. But I can't give you the car because his father's not here. His father has a right to say, I never got $1,500 from her.
My father...
I didn't ask you anything.
I know.
I don't like you.
That's good.
I don't like you.
That's great.
Because if we're speaking morally, what you should do is if she, in fact, paid your father $1,500 for the truck or anything, if she paid him, then a moral person would say to his father, if he were a moral person, the right thing for you to do, Dad, is to sign the title over to Miss Turner because she paid for it. So I want you to understand, it's not that I don't believe that she paid. Don't drink water now, I'm speaking.
I'm listening.
Don't drink.
He continues in a moment.
What does an mean? What does an mean? Just a second.
Okay.
Is an mean, and I want you to know, I'm really smart.
I know.
Are you telling me that she didn't give your father money?
And later today,
I'd like to see where this went, this transfer of $5,000.
Well, originally I transferred it to the checking account so that he could withdraw it and take it.
I want to see that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe say it again.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jessica Turner says ex-boyfriend James Shaw is driving a truck she paid for. James is countersuing for destruction of property.
So the right and the moral thing to do, if you were a right and moral person, would be to say to your father, I'm giving her the truck, and you can go and sue her for the truck if you want.
Okay.
Or, Dad, do the right thing. Sign the title over to her because she paid for it. Not for you and your wife to drive around in it. What does an mean? What does an mean? Just a second.
Okay.
Is an mean, and I want you to know, I'm really smart.
I know.
Are you telling me that she didn't give you...
means I was embracing your feeling and passion in it, because for me, I would have that passion as well if it was true. But unfortunately, it's not. And the water was because I was thirsty of listening to the she was trying to feed you.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me she didn't give your father any money?
Nothing.
Fine. Show me proof that you paid $1,500. Tell me where you took the money out, or you took it out of the bank. Just show it to me.
There's a big statement where I took $2,700 out.
And here's the sheet of paper that we gave you.
That's the receipt of sale. They told me it was a bill of sale.
Bill of sale, but it's not.
The bill of sale of the forgery that she tried? The forging of the bill of sale. You might want to look at that, Your Honor. Who signed over a bill of sale with a purple
There's
pen?
messages where he
Just a
states
second.
he did not play about his dad's truck.
Hold it. What is this?
That's what they gave her, Your Honor.
Gloria? Who's Gloria?
That's my ex-mother-in-law.
Gloria is your ex-mother-in-law?
Yeah, my ex-mother-in-law.
So it's a prior wife?
Yeah.
Just tell me, on what date do you claim you gave him this money?
March 2nd.
Okay, why don't you go back and sue the right person? Got it?
Okay.
Thank you. We're
All right,
done.
Your Honor, hold up.
And at the time she does that, then you can file.
That's great.
And you can file your counterclaim. We're done. Goodbye.
I have a counterclaim,
I said to
actually.
you, did you just hear me? You
No.
put on your listening ears.
Now for damage of property and burning my belongings.
Just a second. Did you understand what I said?
Yeah.
I'm dismissing this case, the entire case, without prejudice, for her to sue the appropriate person. If you want to sue her, you can. Goodbye. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I knew he was married. They had restraining orders on each other and were legally separated.
It's my wife. Of course it's going to change. You know what I mean? Who's going to step out on 26 years?
And was working on a divorce, but obviously not.
She burned some of my stuff, at least, what, $1,100 worth of stuff.
He went back to his wife, and he wants the vehicle.
She didn't make it too far with this whole suing thing because, you know what I mean, it didn't work out for her.
See him in court.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Flores versus Long. Step forward.
Anthony and Andrea Flores are suing boat mechanic Michael Long for the return of a deposit, repairs, and property damage.
Mr. and Mrs. Flores, on what date did you bring a boat that needed repair to Mr. Long to repair?
I don't have the exact date. It was at the end of October.
The end of October of what year?
2017.
2017?
Yes.
And when you brought the boat to Mr. Long, according to you, you gave him $5,000 as a deposit to fix. I'd like to see where this went, this transfer of $5,000.
Well, originally I transferred it internally to the checking account so that he could withdraw it and take it.
I took cash to Mr. Lane.
I want to see that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe say it again.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Then you have another withdrawal transfer on October 24th.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Well, I mean, the other withdrawal could be, we took a loan out for the boat. So, I mean, it could have been just transferring it to savings, to checking.
Not happy.
I'm sorry.
Not happy.
cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Anthony and Andrea Flores are suing boat mechanic Michael Long for the return of a deposit, repairs, and property damage.
Right now, all I have is that a withdrawal customer on October 7th, not the end of October, but on October 7th, $5,000. And then on the 24th, I XO, and that's all I have. I don't have anything else. And you didn't know Mr. Long. He was referred to you to do this work, is that correct?
Yes.
If you sent it to a checking account, then I would write a check for $5,000 to Mr. Long if you were giving him a deposit. Because do you know why? Because I'm not crazy. And it doesn't look to me like you're crazy either.
No.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So, unless you can show me that you withdrew $5,000 in cash and that he deposited $5,000 in cash on or about the same day, we're done here. Do you understand?
I can show you the withdrawal. I can't show you what he did with it.
Show me the withdrawal.
All right.
And explain to me why you gave him cash instead of writing a check. Do that explanation for me.
I gave him cash because that's what he asked for.
A lot of people would ask for it.
So there's a transfer. I think if I could look at that piece of paper, I can just show you just where it's just a withdrawal as opposed to a transfer or into a checking or into a savings. So where it's highlighted, withdrawal, see you home, transfer. So it was transferred. And then right up above it, the same date, it says 10/7 withdrawal. So that's
You're telling me on the 7th of October, you withdrew $5,000 that you didn't give him for weeks. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
I'm not buying that.
Well, I feel like he was off on the date of it. October 7th is the day that we took the $5,000 out. It was a Saturday, which would have been a day where Tony would have been able to drop the boat off to Mike.
Then you have another withdrawal transfer on October 24th.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Well, I mean, you were asking for where I withdrew the money cash.
What I'm asking you is, you have two withdrawals in the same month for $5,000.
The other withdrawal could be, we took a loan out for the boat loan. So, I mean, it could have been just transferring it to savings, to checking.
Not happy.
I'm sorry.
Not happy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
It just doesn't feel right to me that somebody has a checking account and they transfer money to the checking account, which is what you told me before, that you transfer money from your savings to your checking.
To make it easy for Tony to get it all out at one time, yeah.
Right. And instead of for a deposit on work for a boat, he takes out $5,000 and gives it to him in cash, according to him, at the end of October. Doesn't make sense to me. But since I'm not sure, I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice. You can go back to the local court where you came from and see if you can convince a judge that all of that is accurate. Thank you.
Is our excuse when they step out?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I had a boat worked on that didn't get worked on.
Yeah, it was blown up, and I did do work on it.
I went to go get it, and just the motor was taken out of it.
And I stored it for a year.
There were parts missing. I had to buy new parts.
And eventually I pulled the plug on the boat, on the job.
Had a new mechanic put it all back together.
Ready to put it behind me, see where it goes.
It's ready to go on the water.
You were renting one of your rooms to the plaintiff.
He intimidated me so much I did not feel safe.
She fled for her safety.
I moved out before I was able to do exactly everything that he wanted.
You, on the other hand, are still there.
Now she's looking for some security.
You kept us, Lord. You kept it. There's a pattern here that I'm not liking.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Lisa Savelnis is suing her ex-roommate, Jeremy Kaufman, her ex-boyfriend, Nathan Peterson, and Nathan's mother, Joyce Peterson, for her deposit, rent, property, and negligence.
Order. All rise. It's case number 25 on the calendar in the matter of Sylvanus versus Kaufman-Peterson. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Who are the Petersons? This is your son. You own the house.
It's a 5-unit apartment.
Do you own the whole thing?
Yes.
So you own the house?
Yes.
Your son manages the 5-unit house. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, you're Jeremy.
Yes.
You rent a room there.
It's a 2-bedroom apartment complex.
And you were renting one of your rooms to the plaintiff.
Yes.
And you were renting a room to her in your apartment where you paid how much rent?
At this moment, $19.25.
Well, at this moment...
I want to say maybe 2 months ago, Your Honor, while the plaintiff was living there.
How much was it?
$18.75, I think.
Okay. Now, before the plaintiff rented a room from you, had you had other roommates?
Yes.
When was the last time you had a roommate other than the plaintiff?
It would probably have to be a week before she moved in.
And what was the name of that roommate?
He had a weird name, Your Honor. I do not...
How long did he live there?
2 months. Orrin was his... I apologize, Your Honor. His name was Orrin.
How long have you lived in the apartment?
5 years.
Prior to Orrin, who lived there?
I had another roommate for 3 months named Justin.
Prior to Justin, what was the name of your roommate? I'm going to check with them.
Yeah.
What was the name of your roommate?
Prior to Justin was my, at that time, girlfriend, Casey. We lived there for 4 years before she moved out.
So let me understand this. After your girlfriend left you in the apartment, you had 3 roommates, one for 3 months, one for 2 months, and how long did the plaintiff live there?
7 months.
Did you collect security deposit from Orrin? That's a yes or a no?
Yes, I did.
Did you return his security deposit? Yes or no?
No.
Did you collect security deposit from Justin?
Yes.
Did you return? What's Justin's last name?
Can I go in my phone and look?
Yes.
Okay. Do you happen to know Justin's last name when I fill out the paper? I apologize. I do not know his last name.
You do not have it?
It's been a while.
Did you ever see a lease with Justin?
No.
Did you ever get any security deposit from Justin?
Never.
Did you?
No.
Now we're understanding how this game works. Did you ever get any security deposit from Orrin?
No.
Did you?
No.
Did you ever get any security deposit from the plaintiff?
No.
Did you?
No.
There's a pattern here that I'm not liking, because that's what the case is about. The case is about the return of the plaintiff's security deposit that she paid you when she moved in. How much did you pay him in security deposit?
Altogether, $1,100.
And you never received any money from her?
No.
Perfect. And you never received any money from her?
No. I just wanted to say that I have no...
I don't want you to say anything. I want you to answer my question.
I'm not part owner.
Just a second. You never got any security deposit from her?
Correct.
That's all. Who filed this counterclaim for invasion of privacy because she videoed the property? Raise your hand.
I would...
Yep, that would be you. You can sit down. Mr. Peterson, the case against you is dismissed. You can sit down. You, on the other hand, are still there. You kept her security deposit, of which Mrs. Peterson nor her son ever saw a penny. By the way, you're still living there, is that correct?
Correct.
So what I want you to show me are repairs, because I assume you had to put down security when you moved into the apartment.
Correct.
So what I want you to do is show me the damage that the plaintiff caused in the apartment and your receipts for fixing it. Do not show me any damage for which you do not have receipts.
Here's some screen work.
Don't speak, just do.
Okay. Your Honor, does cleaning stuff, due to the fact things were so dirty, do those count as receipts?
No.
Okay.
You understand, Mrs. Peterson, I've dismissed the case against you. I want you to understand what he's doing. Do you understand what he's doing?
Yes.
Okay, here's...
What he's doing is unconscionable in your property. I wouldn't...
Well, there was a reason for it, Judge.
Just don't give me a reason. I want receipts.
I'm going through them. Hardware, the doors.
Now, on what date did...
Of April.
Of this year?
Yes.
And the ceiling fan. Bear with me, Your Honor.
I'm bearing with you. When you come to court, you're supposed to be prepared. You kept her security deposit, and you kept her security deposit. You did not turn it over to your landlord. You kept it, and if you kept it, that means you have to show me receipts after April 3rd, 2019, that you did to repair the premises for damage that you allege that the plaintiff caused. And I want it, and I want it now.
I'm coming with it, Your Honor. My nephew just murdered in a mass shooting, so I'm trying to keep my depression and my anxiety low. If you can give me some time, please. It's just one more picture. Here, you could take these for now and run with these.
This is not for now. This is forever.
Okay. Oh, here it is, sweet. Ceiling fan. Yeah, I think so. One more, Your Honor. Sorry. The ceiling fan I had to replace. I got pictures of...
Hey, pay attention. The plaintiff moved out on April 3rd. On the 28th of April, you bought an upright vacuum cleaner.
Well, what receipt do you have?
Get me...
There's probably the ceiling fan is on there, Your Honor. I apologize.
Just a second. You want me to guess what else is on here?
I thought I highlighted
it. A rear trigger nozzle, fast-setting concrete, a classic wood picket fence.
Is the ceiling fan on there? Can I look at it?
Give the whole mess back, Bird.
Right here, white ceiling fan.
Why did you need a ceiling fan?
Because she ruined the other one.
How did she ruin the other one? You said she didn't clean it.
Yep, well, I got a picture showing what it looked like before she moved in, and then what she left it at.
What's next? Next. I need to see other pictures of damage that you allege she caused. Don't give me a mess of papers, and a receipt to fix it.
So here's the receipts. Here's the fleas she caused with the receipt that I had to get.
Just a second. Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
Ceiling fan, clean. Let's do one at a time. I can deal with him one at a time.
What would you like, Your Honor, the ceiling fan?
No. Let me see the next damage you are alleging. Fleas in Lisa's room. Inspection report en route. Now, you had an animal?
I did. His girlfriend spends the night there with her dog that runs 9 miles a day with her.
Your Honor, I have a picture of flea medication she uses for that.
It's not a halo.
Just a second. Did the pest control, exterminators, did you pay them? It's $75. Is that what you pay them?
Yes.
That's deducted from the $1,100. Okay, what's next?
Screens.
Pictures?
It's on here.
And Bill.
Here's some more screens, too.
Did you break the screen in your room?
The screen was originally broken by his prior roommate.
That's false, Your Honor.
Just put your hands down and don't speak. When you moved in there, was the screen broken or not?
It was broken.
Did you do further damage to the screen?
Yes, but not as much as he's extending.
Well, I don't think that you broke that screen.
I have different pictures, Your Honor.
May I see?
Sure.
May I speak to when you get a chance, Your Honor?
Is this a picture of the room when you moved out or in?
That's when I moved out before I was able to do exactly everything that he wanted, but he intimidated me so much I did not feel safe.
That is false,
He would not
Your
let
Honor.
me come in to return anything.
Understand me, sir. So far from the $1,100.
Yes.
He wouldn't let me return anything he tries to charge me for. He's trying to charge me $100 for these 2 prints. He wouldn't let me return anything.
Just a second. Do those 2 prints belong to you?
I did.
Just a second.
Yes.
You want them back?
Yes.
Would you give them to him, Bird? So far, I'm allocating $45 for the screens.
Okay.
$75 and $45. What's next?
What about the mold inspection report we had to get in and pay for, Your Honor?
I have a video of the mold, Your Honor.
You owe her $980 from her security deposit. Now, you have a counterclaim. Your counterclaim is that she videoed the inside of the house?
Correct.
Great. So you have no counterclaim. $980. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you.
Parties are excused. May step out.
We have an actual legit mold report showing that she created the mold itself.
Yeah, there's a mold infestation and proof that it had been on the property.
She lived in the bedroom, never opened the windows, created the mold problem.
I'm really happy that she saw through some people's games.
She's a disgusting person, and learn from the lesson is never rent to a 45-year-old single lady with a cat.
And thank you so much, Judge Judy. Thanks.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harris versus Washington. Step forward.
William Washington for damage to a third party's vehicle after William had an accident while driving her car.
Mr. Washington, how long have you known Miss Harris?
Since I was young.
So for a very long time?
Yes.
And you were driving her car on what date?
Around May.
In May of last year?
Yes.
And tell me why you were driving her car.
Because she needed her car fixed, and it had a blown head gasket. So she didn't know what was wrong with it. I have found out what was wrong with it.
Just a second.
Oh, okay.
Her car blew a gasket.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find out that her car blew a gasket?
It had antifreeze leaking inside the oil where it mixed and it turns into like a milky color.
Now, did she ask you to find out what was wrong with the car?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is why I don't believe a word of what you're telling me. You don't necessarily have to have collision insurance, but you're mandated if you have insurance to have liability insurance. So you want to waste my time and go show me that this car was a covered car under Allstate?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Danielle Harris says former friend William Washington owes while he was driving her car.
Now, did she ask you to find out what was wrong with the car?
Yes.
How did she ask you? Were you just friends or dating? What were you?
Say dating.
You were dating?
Yes.
And so you drove the car frequently?
Yes.
How frequently? Did you ever drive when you went out for dinner, when you went out to a movie, when you went to a friend's house? She always drove?
No, the car wasn't drivable. She had another car, and she needed to fix.
So this car wasn't drivable?
Mm-mm.
What kind of car was
2005 Pontiac Aztek.
And she had another car?
Yes.
That was drivable?
Yes.
And did you have your own apartment, or did you sometimes stay with Miss Harris?
No.
No is what?
No, I didn't stay with Danielle Harris. We wasn't together then.
Okay. So she just asked you to find out what was wrong with her car. So you were driving it?
Yes.
Now, were you driving it to a mechanic, or were you just driving it around?
Driving it around to see what was the problem.
Now, when you were driving it around, did you pick it up from her house?
No, I had it towed because the battery was dead when I went to go get it. So I had to get it towed.
So where did you get it towed to?
To my friend's house in front of her house.
So you had it towed from Miss Harris's house to your friend's house?
Yes, yes.
And do you remember what date that was?
March, because it was...
You took the car from Miss Harris?
Yes.
To work on?
Yes.
And you worked on it? From March until May?
Yes.
When did you get it running?
I'm gonna say about the middle of May, because that's when I told her it's fixed.
So in mid-May, you called her? Did you see her in March?
No.
Did you see her in April?
No.
But in mid-May, you called her and said the car is fixed?
Yes.
Okay, you remember that phone call?
No.
Well, he towed the car, he says, in March. Is that accurate?
No.
When did he tow the car?
He's telling a lie. He had this car in his possession probably in late 2017. The car was being sold to him. He wasn't driving it trying to fix it for me. The car was being sold to him. I had it posted on Craigslist. I have evidence.
So the car was being sold, and he was going to buy the car from you?
Yes.
But he had not yet bought the car from you. You had not changed title. Is that correct? Is that correct?
No, it's not correct.
So you had given him title to the car?
No, he didn't have title to the car.
So he didn't have title to the car, so he couldn't register it?
Yes, he couldn't register it.
Just a second.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He drives the car, he gets into an accident, and the other car sues you for almost $5,000. If you allow somebody to drive your...
Allow him to drive the car. He was driving under not my permission.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Danielle Harris says former friend William Washington owes for damaging a third party's vehicle while he was driving her car.
Now, if he couldn't register the car because he didn't have the title, the sale of the car was not complete.
Correct.
So you owned the car.
Right.
Did you have the car registered?
Yes, the car was registered.
Good. And I'd like to know the name of your insurance carrier.
Allstate.
Well, if you had Allstate insurance, then you had to have had liability insurance. And therefore, if you had liability insurance, because this is what this case is about, this is why I don't believe a word of what you're telling me, Miss Harris. If the car was registered and it had insurance, and if Mr. Washington was driving the car and he had an accident when he was driving the car and he damaged a third party, now, you don't necessarily have to have collision insurance when you have insurance, but you're mandated if you have insurance to have liability insurance. So you want to waste my time and go show me that this car on the date of the accident was a covered car under Allstate?
The car is technically in my name, but I was selling him in payments. I didn't put the car over into his name until he was done with the payments.
Miss Harris, you're not getting any money. If you allow somebody else to drive your car and it's uninsured, they have an accident, that's your responsibility. That's not his responsibility. That's your responsibility. You want to have no responsibility? Sell him the car. You were selling him the car, according to you, for $600. Then you have no responsibility. Now, he drives the car, he gets into an accident, and the other car sues you for almost $5,000. If you allow somebody to drive your car in your name, it should be insured.
Okay, but I didn't allow him to drive the car. He was driving under not my permission, and I have evidence for that, too.
Sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, your name, your car, insurance. If you have no insurance, I don't hear your case. Do you understand?
The insurance got taken off because I was selling it. It was several people that asked to actually buy the car within that day. He begged me to take it off of Craigslist for him. We agreed to do payments.
Then keep it insured.
I didn't know that to keep it insurance when you're selling the car.
You were selling the car. You had not sold the car. As long as you had not sold the car, you have to keep it insured. And if he gets into an accident, it's your responsibility. If he didn't just damage another car, but if he hurt somebody, it would still be your responsibility. And his, but yours too. Do you understand? You can't come to court when you own a car that you don't insure and have either a good story, a not so good story, so that you want somebody else to pay for something that you could have avoided if you had insurance. Now, you drove another car, didn't you?
Yes, that was my car.
Just a second, and so you had insurance.
I took it off in 2017 when I was selling it.
We're done. Thank you very much. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I don't feel like I should be responsible for his crash.
The brakes went out, and
basically he just said a whole lie out there for one.
I didn't know it was out.
Like, he's driving the car. He wasn't supposed to drive the car.
Went into another car, coming to a stop sign.